So welcome to our first face-to-face on Zoom service. And as you can see, we are still learning. We will be celebrating the Lord's Supper after the second reading in tonight's service, which is sort of a tenebrae. So be sure you have the elements prepared if you want to share in the communion with us. When Aidan finishes speaking, a little note will come up that says, now we're going to share communion, and the music will play. What else? We are going to, at the end of the service, we're going to bless each other, as Becky said, and it will get cacophonous. And then the music will start, and we will all go back to our homes and busy schedules, and we will meet again on Easter Sunday at 10 o'clock on YouTube or at 4 o'clock in front of the church for a live in-person outdoor worship. The 10 o'clock service on YouTube, we will also have the 9:30 prayer service that we always have beforehand. And if anyone wants to be part of that, then we would be glad to see you. So I think that's everything I need to tell you about. I told you about wait until you're spotlighted before you start reading. Let us worship God. Jesus said, I give you a new commandment, that you love one another. Just as he loved us, we also should love each other. Tonight, we remember how Jesus gathered with his friends in an upper room and shared a meal, even with those who would let him down. And then Jesus gave himself over to those who would persecute him. Through his ministry, even to its end, Jesus has given us examples of love in action. This is our time to remember and recommit to the new commandment given by Jesus, to love one another.
Jesus had many friends in Jerusalem. His friend Simon asked him to come for dinner. Simon also invited many others. While they were eating, a woman came into the house. She had heard about Jesus and wanting to do something to show how much she loved him. She brought some very expensive perfume and poured it on Jesus' head. It smelled wonderful. It made the whole house smell nice. But some of the people who were eating with Jesus got angry. That perfume cost a lot of money. She shouldn't waste money like that. She should give that money to poor people. Leave her alone, said Jesus. She had done a beautiful thing. Yes, we should help poor people whenever we can, but this kind woman wanted to do something special. Think of it this way. I am probably going to die soon. This woman has made my body ready for when I am buried." Judas, one of Jesus' best friends, had an angry look on his face. He was thinking to himself, "Jesus is doing such stupid things, letting that woman pour expensive perfume on his head. Well, that's it. I won't be Jesus' friend anymore."
Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom.
There were many people in Jerusalem because it was the time of year when they gathered to eat a very special meal together. It was called Passover. This meal helped the Jewish people remember how God rescued them from slavery in Egypt and led them through the desert to a new land. Jesus and his friends found a place where they could all be together and eat their Passover meal. They had just started eating when Jesus said to one of them, "One of you does not want to be my friend anymore. One of you will try to hurt me. One of you will betray me." "But who would do this?" Andrew asked. For a long time, Jesus didn't say anything. All the disciples waited. Jesus took some bread and dipped it into a bowl of wine. Jesus looked around at his friends, and there were tears in his eyes. He could hardly talk. "It is one of you," he said. One who is dipping bread into the bowl with me. Then Jesus took a loaf of bread. This is like my body," he said. He tore the loaf into pieces and passed the bread to all of his friends. "Whenever you eat bread, remember that my body was broken just like this loaf of bread." Jesus took a cup of wine. He passed the cup around to his friends, and all of them took a drink. "This wine will help you remember when you drink it. Remember that God has promised to love you forever.
When Jesus wept the falling tear, in mercy flowed beyond all bound. When Jesus groaned of trembling fear, seized all the guilty world around. When Jesus wept the falling tear, when Jesus wept beyond all time, when Jesus wept the falling tear, in mercy flowed beyond all bound. When Jesus groaned of drowning fear, seized all the guilty world around. When Jesus wept the falling tear, in mercy flowed beyond all bound. When Jesus groaned of trembling fear, seized all the guilty world around.
Late that night, Jesus and his friends were in a garden. Jesus wanted a quiet place where he could pray. He knew something terrible was going to happen soon, and he was afraid. Please, Father, he prayed. Jesus felt that God was just like his own Father, and that is what he called him. Please, Father, do I have to do this awful thing? Do I really have to? Jesus was quiet for a long time. He was listening to God. Finally, he whispered very quietly, "If that is what you want me to do, then I will do it." Later that night, some soldiers came. They tied Jesus' hands with a rope. They put him in a dark prison and kept him there all night.
Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they crucified my Lord?
In the morning, they brought Jesus to Pilate. Pilate was the ruler of the whole country, like a king, except they called him the governor. Pilate said to Jesus, "They tell me you think you are the king of this country. Is that true?" "If you say so," said Jesus. Then the soldiers took Jesus into the yard of Pilate's house. They started to make fun of him and say mean things to him. They hit him hard, many times. Then they put a purple cloth around his shoulders and yelled, "There, now you look like a real king." And they laughed and laughed. Jesus didn't say anything. It was still early in the morning. The soldiers made Jesus carry a heavy wooden cross. They went to the place called the Golgotha, which was the place people threw all their garbage. There, they nailed Jesus' hands to the cross. They nailed his feet to the cross. Then they lifted up the cross, so Jesus hung there. It hurt terribly.
The soldiers and others standing around started to make fun of Jesus again. If you are a king, if you really are God's chosen one, then show us. Jump down off that cross. Jesus hung on that cross for hours. Finally, he lifted his head and called out, "O God, why have you left me here all alone?" Then Jesus died.
Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Oh,
Most of Jesus' friends had run away. They were afraid the soldiers would come and catch them too. But Mary of Magdala was there at the cross. So was Jesus' mother, whose name was also Mary. James and Salome and several women were there. They were some of the friends who had helped Jesus in Galilee when he was telling stories about God and helping people feel strong again. They were afraid too, but they didn't run away. Later, a rich man named Joseph, who came from Arimathea, talked to Pilate. Please, let me take Jesus' dead body. Let me put it in a grave. Jesus is dead, and we want to take care of his body in a kind and gentle way. Joseph took a nice white cloth to wrap Jesus' dead body in. Then he and the two Marys put Jesus into the grave, which was a cave in the hillside. They did it slowly and gently. Then Joseph rolled a big, heavy stone across the opening, could close up the grave. The three of them stood there for a long time, just looking at the place where Jesus lay dead.
Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they laid him in the tomb?
Then slowly, the three of them walked away. It's so sad, said Joseph. Jesus was such a kind, gentle person. I really thought he was God's chosen one. I guess it's over. Mary of Magdala nodded. Tears filled her eyes. I guess the story of Jesus is over. It's all over. But they were wrong. The story of Jesus was just beginning.
A reading from the Gospel of John, chapter 13, verses 31 to 35. Now the Son of Man will be glorified, as God is glorified in him. If God's glory is in him, his glory is also in God. The moment of this astounding glory is imminent. My children, my time here is brief. You will be searching for me, and as I told the Jews, you cannot go where I am going. So I give you a new command. Love each other deeply and fully. Remember the ways that I have loved you, and demonstrate your love for others in those same ways. Everyone will know you as my followers if you demonstrate your love to others. Let us bless each other on the way. May we always hunger for justice until all are fed. May we always strive to bring about justice, food for all. May we never rest until all are at peace.
May it be
May
so.
it be so.
Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom.